Oh, that looks cool. All right. Oops, I mute my mic. I think we're good. I think we're good. Despite how it may look, this thing is actually very, very comfortable. And it has cool little tap lights on the inside, and I am not mad about it. It even has a magnetized ear thing, but I'll talk about this later once we get more people on board. Let's see. Hey, whoever's watching, make a shout out. I see ya. What's going on, Richard? Digging the helmet. It's gonna be coming out pretty soon. I gotta work out a few kinks, but I'm not gonna lie. I've been wearing this thing all day since it came off my print bed. There is a slight layer shift that happened like towards the end, and I'm kind of upset about it. But you know, for what it is, it goes with the blaster. Did you make the blaster yet? Because it's gonna be my next thing to have on this arm right here. Just walking around my neighborhood with a Mega Man blaster on my arm, because why not? I mean, all right. Kind of wanted to show everybody what is coming down the pike the next few months or so. Maybe next couple of months. I go on vacation into February, so yeah, it's not really noticeable. It's only noticeable if you like look at it, and that's kind of like the things I was thinking about. Don't really like. This is for me. I'm not gonna be going ahead and cosplaying it at a convention or anything. It's just something that I've always wanted to make, and so I decided to go ahead and make it. So, uh, came out really well in terms of design. I like it. I had to size it up a bit to fit my head, but this took like damn near 3 days to make. So I'm really happy with the way it came out. Not gonna lie, especially with these little tap lights that you just turn on and off. Pretty cool. And there's like lenses that go in it to kind of diffuse all the light too. You can see it already, but I keep on getting the sizes wrong. One thing I need to tweak up here. So gonna wait for a few more people to get on board. What are they doing with my phone? Oh, there it is. Bam, 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 bam. All right. So let's throw you over here. Let's bring you up here. And let's do. Oh man, I got a lot of stuff going on here. I don't want this. All right, so Fusion 360. I got a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on at once. I can't really keep track of. And when I forget that I have something that I'm working on, I go into something else. So first things first. What's up, Mike? This is my Mega Man helmet. This is what you are seeing me wear right now. Designed in Fusion 360, modeled by me, and there you go. I'm working on these parts right here. These are like little lenses that kind of help hide the puck lights that are in here. And not only that, but it also helps to like kind of sort of diffuse the light. I don't know if you guys can see it, but when these things are on white, they're super bright. So when you put like a red into it, you kind of get that red. But I kind of gotten used to just letting them go through the RGB cycle. It looks cooler, I guess. But these are designed to fit in there, and they're also magnetic. So you can just pop them in as such, and you don't even have to worry about all that. This one in particular, I actually had to go ahead. I used a human being for this. This is how I modeled it. I modeled it based off of this little STL guy that I got from GradCAD. So I'm going to be using him to pretty much make the rest of any type of cosplay stuff, armor, helmets, and anything else that I think will probably be cool that you guys might enjoy. So this is the Mega Man helmet. It's going to be dropping sometime next week. I got a few more kinks to work out. Once I get these lenses in on my helmet, you guys should be good to go to put this on. Make sure you do size it up to your head size, obviously. Okay. What else do I got going on over here? I got so much stuff here that I don't even know what I have. It's like there's stuff in here that I started that I don't even use anymore. I did make a Pokeball because everyone keeps asking me for a Pokeball. I have no idea why everyone keeps asking me for a Pokeball, but I'm gonna close my helmet. But I went ahead and designed a Pokeball for you guys, and this uses a hinge. So let's take off the top. Bloop. Sorry, top. This uses magnets to close, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like a cylindrical hinge, but the cylindrical hinge go in to one side and it goes into the other side, and you just kind of force it open. So this doesn't pop open. I didn't want to design it that way. This just opens up, and it looks pretty cool, and it closes with magnets. So I don't know why everyone kept asking me for Pokeballs, but like, you guys are getting a Pokeball, probably a Great Ball, Ultra Ball, Master Ball, and whatever other balls are out there, because why not? Why not, right? Everyone likes Pokeballs. I don't know why, but I've been asked to do that, so that is what it is. What I really wanted to show you guys is... No, I don't want to say... A lot of people have been asking about this one here. Yeah. Electronics, or you mean into... Are you talking about the Pokeball, or are you talking about the Mega Man helmet? So this is my Red Ranger Knight helmet. I'm really excited about this. This is an original concept that I came up with, and the helmet here is supposed to flip open and then flip close. So I'm working on the hinge system that you're going to be able to do that. It's not going to be motorized because they didn't have motors in medieval times. So I'm doing all the Ranger helmets, going along with all of their great weapons, like the Great Power Sword, the Dragon Dagger, and all that stuff. And I'm giving them a knight form. Not just the helmet, but I'm also working on armor. As you can see, I don't even think I have it here. Do I? Yeah, I'm working on armor. This is the first part I've been working on. I've been researching how to make armor, and you guys are getting medieval knight armor from me. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's going to take a while, but this helmet, once I figure out the hinge system, is all yours. The Pokeball, no electronics in the Pokeball. It's just a Pokeball that opens and closes. Maybe for the V2, I might put in like an electronic button or something that has the LED ring glow. But I haven't really figured out power for that yet. This is actually just something that I created because my Etsy shop, I do a lot of Pokemon miniatures for people, and I figure that to kind of mitigate them breaking on the way to the customer, I can put them inside of these Pokeballs, and customer gets a Pokeball and they get a Pokemini for me, and it's easier to kind of sell, so to speak. And I know that the item is getting there safe and sound without any problem. So, but yeah, this Red Dragon Knight helmet is gonna be freaking sweet. It comes in 2 pieces, so the helmet in the front. It's gonna be a band that obviously comes around the forehead. It keeps the back on, and then you have the front of the helmet that is going to flip up and it's going to flip closed. So I'm really excited about this one here. Like, this thing looks really cool for the design, and it'll go great with that great power sword you guys have. So get ready for some pretty cool armor. I'm really excited for it. So that's the next thing that we're working on here. Another thing I think you guys might like is my great dragon saber. Again, started with the great power sword, and I'm doing all revamp range of weapons that it's going to have like a, I guess, a medieval kind of feel to it. Like, I guess you can say that, because I started with the great power sword and it didn't came out massive from a lot of people who have built it. They love it. It's ginormous. So I was like, you know, this is a little cool, like an armor like system, an armor knight kind of deal, which is great. So I started doing that with this, and then I was like, well, you know, why don't we do the rest of the weapons, kind of give them an alternate form, which came up with this. This is my great dragon saber, which is actually ready for release, but probably won't drop until next month. And this thing, let's measure it. Let's measure this bad boy from here to here. You're looking at about 1,045. Where's my calculator? Where's my handy dandy calculator? Do it on my phone. I deal in millimeters, because millimeters is easy. Should be about 3 feet or something, if my calculations are correct. Divided by 25.4. It's about 41 inches. So that's the size of a normal sword. It's actually the size of my master sword that's sitting in the corner. So this thing should be relatively cool. And I even have a nice little texture, kind of similar to what the Legacy Dragon Dagger has. This little texture here. And like everyone pointed out to me before with the Dragon Blade, or with the, Great Power Sword, this does have central support unit that you're going to be using carbon fiber rods. You're going to need 4 200 millimeter rods at, what's this hole here? I think it's 5 millimeters. Yeah, 5 millimeters. And it goes all the way down to the hilt here. So this thing will have massive supports. I might add a peg system here to where you can kind of align it a little bit better and they don't rotate when you're putting it together and stuff like that. So that will be something to kind of look into later. But this thing, for the most part, is ready to go. Thinking about test printing it, but I know it's going to be fun. So, but there you go. And of course, you have a removable coin here. So magnetic, pop it in, boom, you're good to go. Pretty cool. So this is a lot of the stuff that's coming down the turnpike pretty soon. I'm gonna close this up too. And you guys are getting a sneak peek at what's to come. And there's a lot to come. So what's going on with everybody? You know, talk to me. What's going on? Seems like you guys liking the Facebook group. The Facebook group is cool. Or anything like that. For all you people jumping on board now, I'll be getting into this bad boy pretty soon. I'm waiting for some additional components to sort of kind of finish up on my Sidewinder, which should be done in about maybe 20 minutes. These are the limbs that go in here. Things are going to be crazy awesome. Yeah, dude. I'm getting all these really cool ideas that are just coming out of woodwork. I want to do a Mega Man X version of this, a Proto Man with a visor, as well as a Zero helmet. Don't know about all the hair though with the Zero helmet, but definitely Mega Man X, Zero, and a Proto Man helmet of these bad boys here. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be wild. That's going to be really, really cool stuff. All right, what else do I got going on here for you guys? I still have a lot of other projects that I started months ago that I should probably kind of revisit and finish up, but I'll show you guys that. Let me show you guys the Beetle Bonder V2. Still working on the Beetle Bonder V2. Are you planning on still doing videos showing your process for electronics? Yes. Yes, I am. I'm getting back into the swing of things. If you watched my last video that I did, I said I'm not a fan of doing YouTube videos. I just got too much stuff going on right now with making these models, prototyping, and also managing my Etsy shop. So there's a lot that I'm working on at the moment. Yesterday I had some free time, so I ended up doing a video. But my problem with YouTube is that I'm not consistent at all. Like live streams, I'm gonna do my best to do these live streams for you guys as often as possible. That's for sure. But as far as doing other things like YouTube videos every week, if I have a really good idea about a video, then I'll do it. But electronics, a lot of people have been asking me to do the electronics, especially for the morpher. A lot of people are having a little bit of a tough time with the morpher. So I guess I'll do a prototype bedboard video to show you guys how to put that together. I still have mine put together. Actually, I never took it apart because I'm not electrical. I'm a mechanical guy. Mechanical engineering is where I am. Electrical, I know a little bit. V equals IR. Ohm's law, that's about it. But other than that, that's it. Not to mention all your side projects. Yeah, like once I get an idea, I got to get it out of my head. I got to do it. I got to make sure that this gets out of my face and I have it. I have a concept going and so on and so forth. So this is the V2 beetle bonder. If you guys have the V1, you just had your base, your black shell, and your attachment up here. That was it. But I've actually gone ahead and did a little bit more over here. So now I've developed a system to where the wings are now going to open up and trigger, kind of similar to like the morpher. So let me go here. All right. Let me open this up for you guys. So when you hit the button, obviously the wings are going to open. Everything is going to be spring loaded. And underneath you got yourself an LED ring, which if you are trying to build a morpher, you should have gotten like more than one. I got 3 and I probably will need to buy some more. There we go. So this is going to open up like that. This is the button right here, and it's going to have a spring inside. So let me go to the back. Let me take this out. You're going to have your button. That's going to be inside of the back cover. It's going to be a spring right here. So when you push the button, this button right here, you're also going to trigger this little guy. And the levers here are going to release. They're going to open up the wings, and when you trigger the button that's highlighted there, you're going to have the LED ring activate. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with the LED ring. So it's going to be, I don't know, rainbow maybe. Rainbows have been pretty cool. Blue, and then of course you change the LEDs to red and green, depending on your beetle bonder. That'll be cool. That's up to you. So just recently discovered you. Love that someone is giving Rangers some STO love. Yeah, man, I gotta say that I've loved Power Rangers since August 23rd, 1993, and I have not stopped since. I like a lot of the old stuff, a lot of Saban, Disney, and a little bit of the Neo Saban, but I haven't really watched any of the new stuff. I'm an old school Ranger fan. That's what we've been called. So, yeah, but I like doing all this cool stuff, not just Ranger stuff, but as you can see, you know, Beetleborgs, some Mask Rider stuff I got in the works. Doing more helmets over there and stuff like that. So this I was planning on having ready for you guys by the end of the month, but I'm running into some issues. I have a prototype here, not really complete, and I'm still trying to work on the spring system to make sure that it's working right. Still running into some issues, but here it is right here, and it does, like when it wants to, flap open. I haven't screwed anything down yet, so don't judge me. But yeah, I'm prototyping this bad boy right now. I'm trying to get everything together, and I still need to finish up the code. I haven't really figured out the code yet, or how I want this thing to actually work. I just recently got some cutters to cut the torsional springs down the side, so this thing is going to need some work. So Hopefully by the end of the month, I would have figured out how to get this thing out to you guys. But if not, it'll definitely be a February gift or reward over on the Patreon for you guys. So this is something that people have been asking, oh, do the wings open up? Are you going to have lights underneath and stuff like that? I hadn't planned on it, but a lot of people love the Morpher. So I decided to kind of do a V2 of all the items that I have that could use electronics. Not everything uses electronics, but that could use electronics, and go from there. Like something like this that you just get plug lights off Amazon, pop them in, and turn them on and off. It even comes with a remote, so I can turn them off remotely. Yeah, see? Pretty cool. These things were $9 for 2. And I mean, you can't really beat that. There you go. So let me turn it back to red. Red. Something simple like this. This is kind of like what I live for. There we go. Back to red, back to red. Where you guys can make cool things like this and not have to sit here and solder and put together resistors and breadboard and stuff like that. Because honestly, me designing this stuff takes a lot of time. If you guys watch my other live stream or my other videos with the Morpher, that Morpher took me 9 months to make, and it wasn't a result of me just not knowing what I was doing. It was just I was learning Fusion at the same time I was doing this. The code was already done. The code was done on day one. It was easy for that particular project. But making it compile into one and making it work the way I wanted to with the Morpher, especially when the Morpher kept changing, that was where the whole fun stuff came in. So, whew, that was a lot. All right, let's see. Yeah, Major for life. I'm surprised people even remember Beetleborgs. I remember Beetleborgs. I remember Masked Rider. I remember Mystic Knights of Ternanog. I remember all that stuff. I remember Superhuman Samurai. Dude, that was a cool show. What other shows? What was that? Rustlers from Mars. I forgot the name of that show. That was another Saban. And there was another one where these kids, they turned into like cars. It was like a CGI kind of mashup of real life people, and they were fighting like robotic car vampires. I forgot what they called it, but I'm gonna find it and I'm put it on my Facebook page. If you guys aren't a part of the Facebook page, the link is in the description, so you guys can go ahead and join that. That's where I post most of my stuff, and this is where you guys are gonna know new videos, new releases on my Patreon, as well as live streams. But I'm gonna find the show and I'm gonna see how many people actually remember that show. But also not just that, like Mummies Alive. A lot of the old school shows, Captain Planet, all that stuff. Like, I'm a big ass kid when it comes to this stuff. You have no idea. Are you doing the data bonders next? That's the plan. The problem with the data bonders is that they don't really do anything. You just insert a card, and that is about it. So, I was thinking about it, but I don't really remember if that came with any life. I mean, the Beetle bonders didn't really have the opening wings. Whenever the kids transform, it was just flashes of light on all of their bonders. So in the Japanese version, Metal Heroes, the wings opened up, they put in their little figures, they closed it, and then they did the transformation, and that's when the LEDs and stuff flew off on here. Now, I don't have the action figures for that. I thought it would be cooler to throw in an LED ring and let it go that way. And yeah, data bonders, I would have to go back and revisit the original show just to see what it is they're actually doing in terms of that. I can probably revamp it and add LEDs and a whole electronic system to it to give you guys something to play with and make it look cool. But as of now, that's something that I'm going to have to go back and check out. So, Tattoo Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills. That's what it was. That's what it was. I mean, what a terrible show. What a terrible produced show. I actually watched a retrospective of that a couple weeks ago, and a lot of the character development in that show was actually on point. The special effects and the choreography and the fighting, not so much, guys. Not so much. Yeah, I remember Animorphs. Animorphs was pretty cool. I read the books. I didn't necessarily watch the show. I tried watching it recently. It was on Hulu a few years ago, and I don't know, I couldn't get into it. A lot of the shows I watched as a kid, I can't really, if I didn't watch it as a kid, it's kind of hard to watch them now. But I remember when it wasn't on the air, I didn't have cable, so I only was able to watch it when I was at a friend's house who had cable, or my grandmother's house, because all grandmothers back in the 90s had cable for some reason. But I would watch it there, and I never caught a full episode. I remember one of the characters was stuck as a bird for some reason because he stayed an animal. He stayed a bird for too long, and he got stuck. So I remember that they had certain time limits that they could be animals, and that was it. So one of them was stuck as a bird, and I never knew how they resolved that. But it ran for like 2-3 seasons, I believe. It ran for a long time. So as I was saying, this right here, the Beetle Bonder, this is going to be a project probably push off to next month. Once I'm able to sit down and fully prototype it, there's still a lot that I need to do and a lot that I need to kind of figure out. And I actually just got an idea on how to actually do that. Yeah. But I'm not going to do it now because I want to show you guys the mother load of all things cool. I don't need to save that. Let's close this up. I know you guys have been asking me questions on, when's the next morpher? When are you going to do the next morpher? So here we are. And I actually been up since 4 o'clock working on this. Had about 2 cups of coffee, did a run, came back. This is your light speed morpher, ladies and gentlemen. This thing is going to have LEDs. This thing is going to have spring-loaded cap thingies or whatever. It's not going to have sounds just yet. I haven't really figured out how to do sounds. But this right here, I'm feeling really good about it. So what's actually going on in this thing? Well, let's break it down. You have your cap here. And this has a torsional spring that's going to be forced up against this wall. And this one is actually going to be forced up against the wall of the flip cap. So when this, which is also spring-loaded, your trigger is pushed back, this thing is just going to flip open, okay? So this thing actually has a place for a spring. So if you did the morpher, you would have bought the assortment of springs. That's what we're using here. Keeping everything the same. Because if you like to tinker like I do, then you have that assortment kit, you have that hardware kit, you have the Arduino beginner kit that's over here that I have, and you're ready to go. So let's dig deeper really quick because I'm actually excited on how I have this thing to work for you guys. So you're going to have these LEDs, and this is your LGP. Now you can print this in white PLA if you want. What I would suggest people do is actually, if you have the capabilities, print it in resin, a clear resin, because that would allow the LEDs that are sitting right here, you have 2 on each side, to shine through this entire thing. And the best part about this is that there's no screws holding this whole thing down. The LEDs are screwed right into this bar, and that bar sits right on top of the morpher top. So it's actually being compressed down, and it takes nothing to keep it in place. So in my head, it should work. But, like all things, I have to test it out and make sure that everything is going to work as designed. So once we remove the light guide, you have your Arduino board, which sits underneath all this fun stuff. And it's going to be connected to your LEDs right here. And I just recently found the power supply for it. I don't know if I can show you guys. But this is going to use 2 watch batteries at 6 volts. That's going to power the LEDs. Now, these things right here, they use 6 volts each. So I think putting them in parallel should work just fine. Meaning that both of these are going to have, where's my thing at? Both of these are going to be pulling the same voltage at the same time. So they're going to be daisy chain. So you're going to have to do some soldering. You're going to have to solder these up, one side to the other, and then the other side is going to be soldered to the board. And put them in parallel, and that's how you're going to get them working at the same time. If you have 2 of these LED boards and you have them in different pinouts, then you got to program each LED to do kind of certain different things based on what pin you plug them in. So just having them plugged in one pin is actually a lot easier. From that, there's still one more thing I need to add. Let me put in the LGP. Let me put in my morpher top. There needs to be a switch here. So when this flip cap opens, let me show you. No. Flip cap. Ugh. Bodies. And I wanted to go about this axis here. So when this opens up, like in the show, we needed to actually strike a limit switch. So if you've done a morpher, you know what a limit switch is by now. That limit switch is going to have to be somewhere in here, and it's going to have to be an arm underneath here. So when this thing opens up from the torsional spring, it's going to smack that limit switch and activate the LEDs, which are designed to shine through this LGP right here. And just like here, you have your little cop lights or whatever ranger color you're trying to become is going to shine that ranger color. So red, green, yellow, blue, pink. I haven't done titanium yet, but titanium might be something a little less complicated, actually. That should be a lot less complicated, actually. So instead of getting a beetle bonder, you guys might be actually getting this at the end of the month for you DIY builder guys. You guys like to build. I like to build. This is why you guys are here. Everyone likes to build, and there's nothing wrong with building. All right. So I'm gonna go get the parts for my helmet right here. I will be right back. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. JK, they're still actually being printed. Almost done though, so there you go. So these are all of my projects that I'm working on for you guys. A lot of finished ones, a lot of not finished ones. I'm gonna show you guys one more that I kind of started and then didn't finish. It was ready to be prototyped. So if anyone out there wants to prototype, let me know. But we have Zero Ranger 1's shield. And yeah, I remember I promised you guys that this thing was going to connect and combine with the other Zeo weapons. And they are, okay? I'm still working on it. A lot to take into account here. But this shield is actually going to have an LED ring in it too. A really big one. That's going to shine out through these things right here. So this is the shield. I don't know why she has a shield, but apparently she has a shield. This right here is supposed to be self-locking. So you stick it in, turn it, and you got your shield going on here. Inside of it, see if I can isolate this. Isolate. This is where you're going to have all your electronics right here. You're going to have your LED ring, you're going to have your board, and quite possibly your power supply. These lenses right here are removable. Problem is that I'm having some issues trying to get them to kind of go in. I need to kind of do some fine tuning here for all these lenses and stuff. But this is probably going to be cut in half. I think I've already did that. Did I? No, I didn't. Thought I did. But there's a lot of stuff going on here that need to be addressed. So this is supposed to be released in December. I didn't get to it. I apologize, but still working on it. So this will probably be something that will be released in the next month or so. I just got to sit down and actually look at it and actually get it to where this thing is actually going to look good and work, because you need it to work. I always tend to forget like power supplies. Power supplies, never design something first before you have an idea for a power supply. That's rule number one. Rule numero uno. Always have a power supply ready to go. And that's pretty much what I have being worked on right now. I hope you guys are excited for it. A lot of the rewards that are coming out the rest of the month are not here, actually. They're actually somewhere else. So let's talk Power Ranger stuff. Anybody watch Cosmic Fury? Because I didn't. I saw Lord Zed was back and he was all like super jacked. And I'm like, man, I thought he got killed by the Z-Wave. What the hell happened? How is he back? So it feels like a lot of retcons happened in that season. One of the Rangers became a Morphin Master. That's interesting. Got some. There we go. Let's cut that off. You know, it actually looks better this way. It's more accurate when you have the ears on. Like so. Anybody working on any projects? Like other prints? I just got my airbrushing kit set up down in the garage. I haven't really brushed anything yet, but I'm hoping to get something going this weekend. I also got like a cool little, what was that? Magnets art. Magnets, sometimes I hate it. I know they make life easy to where you don't have to glue, and if you forget something, have to unglue, but in all honesty, sometimes they're a pain in the ass. Yeah, so I got an airbrushing kit. I got a whole little like containment unit with a fan and LEDs and stuff like that, so I can do that. So I'm really stoked to start getting into that. Yeah, whoops. When you get these shows that are on like Netflix that go from like 20 episodes a season to like what's that, 8 or 9 episodes, it kind of defeats the entire crux of the show, and it's kind of lame. Back when I was growing up, Power Rangers had like 40 something episodes, and it lasted an entire year from February to almost the end of the year. Then they show reruns until the next season came out. I just found a website where I can watch Super Sentai. So me and my wife we stopped at Zyuohger, which is okay. I'm not a fan of the animal themes anymore. They're kind of, in my opinion, kind of played out. I did like some of the new stuff that they're doing, like with King Oger. That looks cool. Bugs. Haven't done that before. Cool. Not really sure what this boom jar. Them helmets that they got going on there. It's a freaking hubcap on their face. That's weird, but the Japanese people, they know. I mean, the franchise has been going on for what, 60 years now? Jeez. What's vinyl paint? Never heard of vinyl paint. I've been working with acrylic and water-based paint. That's about it. I'm not a painter. I'm learning how to paint, and I think this airbrushing thing is probably going to be a lot of fun. Because I got some Power Ranger buffs sitting on my shelf over here that probably would be good practice to get them painted and make them looking good and nice and stuff. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that instead of let them sit there in flat gray. You know, when I first started resin printing, I thought that just printing it in a statue and then putting on a shelf somewhere would be okay. But then I started seeing all these people like painting their Patreon rewards and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, it looks even better than just painting it out in flat gray, putting it together and just saying, okay, I'm done. On to the next. So that'll be something good. Excuse me. Like I said, I've been up since 4. I ran 3 miles today, and so it's starting to catch up with me. As you can see, I'm training for a race, not a Tough Mudder, a Spartan race. So I'm going to start crashing out in a bit. Yeah, I'm old. 6:30, bedtime. Let's go. But yeah, I saw people started, painting out their models, and I'm like, you know what? It looks way better like that. And actually, this is how I designed it, like with the color. It's fine putting it together and throwing it out there for people to do whatever they want with it. It's also better as the creator to actually not only print but also paint the model. So that'll be something that I'll probably start doing here on out once I get a handle on how these are supposed to work. It's closer to Paint Factory, so it's bonds to plastic. Are you painting plastic or are you painting resin? That would be my question. Wait, is resin considered plastic? I don't know. That's a very good question. Hold that thought. I'm going to check on my little lenses here. Be right back. Okay. Oh. All right, so here are my little screen things. These are designed to just fit inside of the ear. Should be able to just press them in there. I might not be able to press them in there because I oversized it, but I'm going to try because they're still warm. So I can try and get it in there. Don't do this to me. Ah, it broke. But I was actually using these right here as my originals, which they kind of fit in okay. They just have some give on either side. And they work to an extent. I just didn't like the bouncing around because you see there's a little gap. Oh. There's a little gap at the top right here. So when you actually put this on, you kind of get that effect that, you know, there's lights in there. And it's not half bad. It's just these things rattle when you walk, and I don't like that. But when you turn it on to white, it gets so much more brighter. Because white, I don't know why white is much brighter than it is, but it is. So, like, even without the filter, this thing is bright. So these are actually really cool little helmets here. Turn it back to red. So if you're going to print this, the thing is that these two right here are separate. You have your front and then you have your back. You want to put this in first and then glue them together. That's okay if it's in there by itself, because eventually if you need to take these off to replace the batteries right here in the headlamp, you can just go ahead and just pop it off and pop it back on like it's no one's business. So figuring out which magnets go to which magnets on this thing is kind of a pain in the ass. I don't think that's it. Might be though. I'll just leave it like that. But for the most part, this thing took about, my God, how long did this thing take to print? It took about almost 3 days to print, which coincided with when the lights arrived. And you can also press these to turn them off. And they use AA batteries or AAA batteries. You don't have to charge them. So turn them on, turn them twice, they hit red. And if you want the RGB feature, you can turn on the RGB feature and they turn into different colors. So I'm happy with it. There is a layer shift at the top, but you won't even notice it unless you're really looking at it. You can kind of see it right there. Happened right at the end. Not sure how it did, but it did. And I did it on my Sidewinder. So took some, it kind of made me upset. I was like, oh, this is looking really good. And then boom, layer shift. Is anyone operating out of an Etsy shop or anything like that? Anyone own an Etsy store? If I'm curious, I was planning on doing a video talking about the do's and don'ts when it comes to Etsy. And it sounds like it'll be fun. Sorry, I got distracted. Not that it's going to be fun. I own an Etsy shop, so a lot of people have been asking me how I manage my business. So I was going to do a video helping other people get in tune with their own businesses and see what you guys are looking for. A lot of people I know sell my stuff, printed props, on their Etsy shop via my Patreon. So there's a merchant here for that. Not trying to sell anybody, but if you see my file floating around, that person is probably a patron. Or if they're not, you need to report them and let me know. Trying to get this other thing in here. Problem is that I glued this on and it's on there. It's not coming off. So I want to have the lens in there, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Maybe if I size it up just enough, because these are 106. So maybe if I go maybe 105 or 104, I might be able to do something there. This is at 100. This is at 106. So if I do it that way, I really want these lenses in, just so I can have a complete helmet. Because I did eventually size up my helmet. So, let's see. I'm about to take you guys back. Want to know how far back? You don't even know. You new guys who are into this 3D printing now, you guys don't even know what simplified 3D is. Boom. This is old school, yo. Y'all don't even know. Y'all youngers over here don't even know. Maybe if I try 104. Maybe 104 might be enough to get these in there. 106, 104 here. That might be just enough. Throwing it on my Sidewinder. The reason why I still use Simplified 3D is because it's never let me down in terms of slicing. It's very direct. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to sit here and worry about it. Consider the range. And it is super fast when it comes to slicing. 44 minutes. 16 grams. Material cost is 39 cents. All right. I'm going to try this again. I think maybe this time it'll work. And if it does, well, you'll find out about it. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. So far, if I have any patrons that are in here, what has been the best reward so far? I know I do a lot. Some of them are just kind of meh, and then some of them are like wowee, and then some of them are just like, wow, this is really cool. Which ones have been your favorite so far? Statues, cosplay props, anything of the sort? That's what I want to know. All right, close that. Stop sharing. I'm gonna go start these lenses really quick. BRB. And that's the best thing about 3D printing, is that you just go in there, hit go, and you're done. Especially if you have a reliable printer. I'm sorry, this thing is really cool. And I made this. That's the crazy part. Like I should be printing a lot more of the stuff that I make. Normally, I don't have time to do so before release, but this right here, I wanted it, and so I made it. And that's the fun part. It's when you make something that you thought of, and you design it, and you get it out, and that's the fun part. Are you turning colors? Or are you on the same wavelength here? Oh, you are. The controller that controls the helmet also controls my bat signal. I hate that. I don't like that. It's not the fun part that I was promised. Anybody making anything cool? Like, I'm not good at this live streaming, guys. I just don't ramble and talk for hours on end like some people do. I can't do that. That's a lot of work. Can't really do that. So I like to interact with you guys and talk about what you guys are working on or projects or something. Real talk, I'm kind of hungry at the moment, so I might go and eat. Ooh. Yeah, the morphers are going to be fun. A lot of them are going to be really, in my head, and this is saying a lot, in my head, easy to do. But when you start designing and fitting in all the electronics and wire management and LEDs, it turns into a complete clusterfuck. The next one I want to do is maybe Time Force. That'll be cool. I think I might need to design my own LED board for that. But the way that it works is that I design based on what's off the shelf and readily available for you guys. Because I'm not going to sit here and make 50, 60 LED boards and ship them out to you. That way you guys can have them if you guys want to do this project. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, like these little LED rings that I got, or like LED strips, something that you can get off Amazon for $10, $15 and have enough left over for the next lot or of another project. So I keep the material costs down in terms of what's available off the shelf. If I wanted to design my own LED board, then you would have to design the LED board you would have to build what I design. And it's a little bit more complicated than that. And I don't think a lot of people are electronically savvy when it comes to that. Like, I'm just now learning a lot of this stuff. I worked in an industry for about 5 years where I was both mechanical and electrical engineer. Didn't know anything about electric stuff, but I had to learn. So if you're into this stuff, I mean, you're just gonna have to learn. That's all I can say. But yeah, more morphers are on the way. I have some ideas for an SPD morpher, but that's gonna take a lot more coding in terms of what I want it to do and how I want it to work. So maybe that'll be for the SPD era of statues when it comes my way. Oh, maybe. Who knows? But that's going to take a lot of coding. Said a lot. Not sure if it's all coming through. Yeah, no, I got you. I got the whole strip here. Apparently, there's 2 people watching, but I think you're the only one who's actually like talking, which is fine. I know live streams, like I started doing them at one point and I had like maybe 14, 15 people watching every time I did it. And I did it for like once a week for about a few months. And I just got off the ball. Not that I didn't like doing it. I like talking to you guys, but after I had my kid, it was, I couldn't really stop what I was doing and go do a live stream, because sometimes my wife works late and she can't come home or she can't get off in time for my live stream, so sometimes I have to postpone it. If I did postpone it, then sometimes I would cancel it because some other things come up. So I'm trying to get a schedule. This is also why I don't do a lot of YouTube videos anymore, because it's either I take the time to either do Etsy orders, design new products, 3D print prototypes, or do a YouTube video. Like, I can't do all of it at all. Like, all of it. Especially if I have a project or design that I'm working on, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be like, hey, get this done. Unless I run into a roadblock and I can't figure out how to get one part to work or get one part to fit. Etsy orders, depending on my bulk of orders that I need to do, sometimes I can put that on the back burner. Sometimes I got orders that need to go out tomorrow and I don't have time to sit here and record a video or do anything like that. Printing, sometimes when I'm working on a project like this guy here, this took 3 days. I just threw him on my Sidewinder and let my Sidewinder do most of it. Most of the time I can do that because I don't have problems with my printers or anything like that. Like, unless there's a fucking update, like with AnchorMate. Like, they keep on updating their shit, and it keeps on messing with my settings. I think they did another update, and my settings that I had in the previous Anchor Studio to just deleted. So I had to sit down this morning, 4 a.m., mind you, and figure out what my settings were because I was trying to print the back of the Beetle Bonder that kept on breaking, and I couldn't get it to work. So kind of annoyed there. But most of the times if I do a print, it's just, hey, put it on there, hit print, and I go. So it's not really much there. It's when it comes down to sanding and painting and priming and doing all the other shit that I really don't have time for. And I want to have more time for that. And I don't really have it right now. Even with me doing this full time, most of the time I'm watching my baby. But I've just gotten into the groove of putting her in a high chair, turning on Bluey, and sneaking out into the garage, leaving the door open so I can hear her if she's having a fit or something. So I'm just getting into that. But having her in my office space where there's a lot of cool doodads and stuff that she can get into, can't do that yet because she gets into everything. So doing the YouTube videos, it's usually going to have to be maybe one day out of the week where I can go through and pick a topic and give it to you guys. But I'm going to try and be more consistent with that because my consistency with YouTube videos is not the greatest. But you guys have been watching my old stuff from months ago. And yeah, I have no complaints. I really don't. So I really do appreciate that coming from you guys. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and end it now because I'm getting hungry, starving actually. So if you guys have any more questions for me, I'm going to shut it down. It's been about an hour. I think that's a really good length of time for a live stream. I really don't have any complaints about that. My last live stream was like half an hour. Like, what are you doing for half an hour? That's an episode of Avatar. Before I go, did anyone watch Reacher season 2? I'm watching it now, and it's really good. I'm not really big on TV. Like, I don't get excited for TV shows anymore because TV just sucks. That's just my opinion. But Reacher's actually really good. I'm digging it. I can dig that. That's a lot of digging for a TV show coming from my end of the universe. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to end it right here. All the links to the Facebook group, I would love for you guys to come out and join. We do a lot of project sharing, setting up settings, sharing settings. I'll let you guys know what I'm working on and what's coming out of the Patreon pretty soon, as well as sharing videos and knowledge and stuff like that. So it's a small group. I think I have about 12 members looking to maybe get to 100 where we can all sit down and chit chat and have fun and maybe do more people on the live stream. So that'd be great. My Instagram handles are in the description as well as my Patreon. So if you guys are looking to get some Patreon files, my link to Patreon is right there, as well as the Facebook page for me where you guys can go and like it if you want. So I do post on there regularly, usually when there's a release or usually when there's a new video out. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys next week. Hopefully same time next week, live streaming. I'm going to do my best to not only do a live stream next week, same day and time, but also get out a video for you guys sometime next week. So happy printing. I'll be doing a video with this, like just a quick little reel or something like that. And then this file is going to be released next week. So if you guys are looking forward to getting this, I will show you where I got these little puck lights, which ones exactly to buy. And this will be released out next week, along with a few more other stuff, as well as, if I get this right, my light speed morpher, which a lot of people have been really asking me for. So I guess I got to go ahead and get that done. Beetle Bonder, working on it. Got to work out a lot of kinks with it. So expect that next month sometime. I'm still going to be working on it this month, but expect that next month sometime. As of now, might be pushed back. Don't know. All right. You guys take care of yourself. Mike, Sean, Richard, all you guys who are tuning in. Really appreciate you guys. I will see you guys next week. Same time. Bring a drink because I'm having me one right now before I go crash out because I am tired. But first I got to eat. All right, guys. Take care of yourself. Peace.